So control what I can control. And you were the champion on this. You challenged me to eat better. And I'll be candid. I'm pretty good with nutrition, but when I found out my prognosis, I started eating sugar again because I was kind of mad because I gave up sugar for my joints and it didn't help me. So I was rebelling. So I went back to the no sugar and I was eating just better, more salads, like you said. And I was taking the vitamins, like you said. I was getting out in the sun, like you said. I was also continuing, and I'm a big believer in this now, the red light therapy
Yep.
and the cryotherapy. I was doing it every other day. It was a little expensive,
Yep.
but I feel fabulous. And I really do think those two things, and they took a half an hour. That's it to do both of them.
Yeah.
The red light therapy I do for 15 minutes, the cryotherapy's 3 minutes,
Yeah.
and then I'm done. And
Yeah.
I
Well,
go back to my life.
you were preparing your body, and this is what we talked about several weeks ago, is people forget how you can optimize your outcome with surgery and what the patient can control in terms of what they eat and their mindset, and also trying to decrease their inflammation with a better diet, better sleep. All those things matter. But I think the thing that is key here, Tom, which I want you to lean into a little bit if you can and help us, is the discipline that's required with that, because that's the difference. We know pretty well what helps people. It's the discipline to actually do it that's more often missing than not. So how do you square that for people who maybe don't have your epic discipline? What are some suggestions you might give to people who haven't had decades of discipline like you when they're facing surgery? So the sort of the Navy SEAL recommendations to prepare for surgery is what we're working on here.
Well, you've heard me talk about Tom Brady, your fellow
Michigan Wolverine.
Michigan Wolverine, and he is pretty candid about, hey, I'm not the fastest guy, the greatest athlete out there, but I'm pretty good at some things that are hard to measure and identifies, I think, how he characterized it in a video I watched. And he's talking about the intangibles. And I'm the same way. It's all about the intangibles. How are you going to think? And then when I get to the discipline intangibles, so the four intangibles I care about are mindset, how am I going to think? Discipline, and I look at it this way: how am I going to execute whatever it is I'm doing? And my job, my role in this, preparation for today was to be a good patient. And you gave me phenomenal guidance on how to do that. Things I did not know, things I never would have done. So thank you. Send the bill to my wife. She'll take care of that.
ten
And then the
dollars.
third one is resilience. How are you going to respond to good things? And then how are you going to respond to challenging things? And how you respond, resilience, it's important. It's really part and parcel. It's a tightly linked intangible with how you think. But I think giving it its own intangible marquee billing is important because things are going to happen and
Yep.
you need to be deliberate in how you respond. And a lot of good things happened, and I responded to them very neutrally. Like I kept getting guidance on, wow, you've got Dr. Hayden, neurosurgeon. He's fantastic. I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's great. The best guys on the planet Earth have problems sometimes.
Right.
It's not like I was going to get negative. I just was neutral. I'm
Yeah.
just not going to allow myself to buy into the hype. I'm going
Right.
to be Jim Brown and I'm going to walk up to the ref after I scored the third touchdown in the game and I'm going to hand him the ball and not do the Neon Dion primetime dance because I'm going to be there again and it's going to
Yeah.
get tiring to keep doing that. Now, I'm being a wise guy, but that's the truth. And then as a leader, that's the fourth intangible. How could I be a better leader in this circumstance?
Yeah.
For me, the only way I could be a leader here was to listen to the experts in my life.
Mm.
And being a good follower, that's step one to being an effective and empowering leader. So I had to listen to Dr. Allan Mishra. I had to listen to Dr. Hayden. I had to listen to my friends that speak my language a little bit more and told me what their experience was. And I did my own calculus, mind you. But I did all this, those four intangibles. And you asked back to the original question, how could I have super discipline? Like for me, the way I get better discipline is I want to be better at Tom Brady at one thing. And I know the dude's a juggernaut with discipline. But guess what? Guess what? I could have better discipline than him. I can. It's a choice. It is a choice. And if you commit and apply the principles of Kaizen, continual growth, the principles of marginal gain, aggregation of marginal gain, just get 1% better each time you have to be disciplined with something. One day, and I'll take Tom Brady on. Let's go discipline competition. Let's see
So
who's got it, baby.
So what I would suggest is that you have a vitality mindset with this. You and I talked 3 or 4 weeks ago about preparation. You followed through on that with the discipline to do what we talked about in terms of your nutrition, continuing with other things like red light therapy or cold exposure, eating better, just optimizing everything you possibly could be in control of. So the idea of discipline as a choice, I think, is something that people forget. They think, oh my God, Tom Chaby's super disciplined or Tom Brady's super disciplined. I think anybody can be incredibly disciplined. They just need to commit to it. They can't be a dabbler in discipline. They need to own it. And you